In this week's episode of Castle Rock, looks like Annie and Joy are seeking help from Ace. Chris and Nadia take a trip to the hospital, and Amelie and Annie might not be a perfect fit. We're going to talk about that and much more. What is going on, everybody? Elliot back again with my weekly breakdown, recap, review of the latest episode of Castle Rock Season 2, Episode 8, which was titled Dirty. Annie sees things for what they are, and I'm excited to talk about this episode with you all. Before we dive into this spoiler review, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of my Castle Rock reviews, other TV reviews, movie reviews, and all the fun stuff we do on this channel. And if and when you've seen this latest episode of Castle Rock, I gotta know what you're thinking of this episode. Let's have some fun discussions in the comments below. Before I go into this spoiler review, and this is a spoiler review for episode 8, I definitely want to thank everyone that commented on last week's review. It was a very awesome video, many awesome theories, comments, all that fun stuff. I really appreciate it, guys, and this is why I do these reviews, to talk to you all, to talk about the stuff that we love. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to get into this episode here. So, first and foremost, last week as you saw my review, I really enjoyed that reveal, seeing the kid is back, and again, everyone's theories is just phenomenal, who he is and what's going to happen in the next episode. So, going into this episode, I was very excited to get many answers. But first thing I noticed was 36 minutes. Are they going to be able to answer certain things in that time? And overall, I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode. I'm going to talk about it towards the end of this video, but let's just kind of break it down, recap it. So it opens with Annie and Joy being brought to the Marston house where Ace is there and all his people. And she's not under arrest now. She acts as she's under arrest, but she's not. And I just thought it was really interesting. And I talk about it a little bit later in my review that Ace and Annie, I don't know, she's kind of just like talking to him like she didn't forget that she killed him. And I don't know if that's been addressed yet, that she just thought that she made that up in her pills. But I just thought that was odd, the way they interacted in this episode, especially in that first scene. We kind of transition to see that the town is now like a herd of zombies from The Walking Dead. Everyone's walking towards the house, as we find out at the end of the episode. And they're just consumed by this statue of the kid, which we didn't get any information from them on this episode, which really kind of sucked in my opinion. But we switch back to the house, and we see Ace has switched out Annie's pills and offers her and Joy a place to stay for the night till things kind of clear up with, the police and all that stuff. But we all know that the town seems to be under this possession, so there's really nothing to keep her from. But she doesn't know that, of course. So we see Annie and Joy discuss them not staying and wanting to leave the next morning. We transition to see that the Amelie cult has plans for Nadia, and we see Chris go over and attack her. I thought that scene was kind of awkward, to be honest with you, because again, I don't know how these kind of zombie-like possessed people, they obviously have the memories of the host of the bodies they have, but some of the stuff he was saying to her was just kind of weird. Like, I took down notes. He attacks Nadia and says, I want to kill you, bitch, I'm going to kill you, and all this stuff. And he says, Chris is dead for 4 years now, and you think you can get away with this? I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a Chris memory. Is that a, Amelie follower memory? I don't know what that line was. Again, I had it on subtitles, and I took it down. I don't know what that means. Let me know in the comments what you all thought that Chris meant by that. And again, the memories of the people that they're in, I was just very confused by that whole scene. I thought it was just kind of weird and awkward. We see that the cell towers and all the communications in Castle Rock are no longer available. We see that they took that out. Nadia goes to the hospital. We get a bunch of stuff at the hospital, which we'll talk about a little bit later in regards to the emotional connection that I think they wanted us to have, that I really didn't have for Chris and Nadia, but we'll talk about that in a bit here. But we see Annie takes the pills, which were switched out. I believe her name was Vivian or Vivia. One of Amelie's followers sees the drawings of Joy, and this is definitely a theory that a lot of you all mentioned last week, but she sees the drawings, she takes it to Ace, and now Ace is like, oh, maybe it's not Annie, it's really Joy that should be the vessel, when, the drawings are similar to Amelie. So, Ace goes to Amelie and kind of tells her that in his language that, I found the actual host for the vessel, which we are assumed to think now is Joy, which, again, kudos to all you guys that made up that theory. Really heads on with that there. Ace is, telling Amelie about the vessel and Joy. So we see Annie and Ace talk. Again, I'm just thinking like, she's just okay with talking to this guy that she murdered. Again, that just might be me. Let me know if it's awkward to you that Annie and Ace are just talking like she didn't murder him 4 episodes ago. But anyway, we see them talking. He asks if she needs anything and this, that, and the other. If she needs any pills and all that stuff. We see Annie suspicious about what's going on in the basement. She hears voices, as we allude to, or we find out later, these voices are her mother. As we know, she tried to kill herself, or she did kill herself, and she wants to take Annie with her. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But going back to the hospital stuff, we got Nadia and Chris at the hospital. He's saying there's something inside of him. We notice that she's giving him more and more medicine, and when she gives him medicine, the Chris comes out of him. And we know from the previous episodes that when you're under medication, you're not under the possession of Amelie, which they have alluded to in many episodes prior to this, including this one here. We get, Chris is, not possessed. We see that she's taking him to the medicine room, and we see 2 of Amelie's followers shooting at Nadia. They're locked into this medicine room. He tells her, hey, you got to let me go. I can help you, get out of the situation. They trick him. She knocks one of them out with a fire extinguisher. Chris is wrestling with one of them. He gets shot, and he dies. Which, again, I think that the show wanted us, 8 episodes in, to have that emotional pull, which you might have had personally. Which, if you did, the show did its job. But for me, we didn't spend enough time with Nadia and Chris for me to have that emotional pull and have that kind of payoff with him dying there. And again, I just personally thought, if you watch my previous reviews when they first showed them actually, having that they've been, messing around, I just thought that relationship was weird to begin with. Yes, I know they're not blood brother and sisters, but they've been together for like 20 years, living in the same house. And I thought that relationship off jump was just a weird relationship. And that moment when he dies just didn't really work for me. But let me know in the comments if you guys feel bad for Chris dying and Nadia seeing him die and all that stuff. Let me know in the comments there. So we see Annie sees her dead mom, and, she's taking the pills. We get the scene with the water in the bathroom. She's definitely losing it at this point. Ace and Joy talk, and, they take Joy, and, Annie sees that. She tries to rescue her. We continue to see people in town walking towards the house. As we kind of move forward and end up the episode here, Annie takes out 2 of the Amelie followers, Haslam being one of them, and Helen, I believe her name was. Pretty brutal kill. She slices one girl's throat and she knocks out Haslam with an axe. Pretty gruesome stuff there, but a pretty cool scene. She saves Joy from the attic, and we see her still having the hallucinations. Her mom telling her to kill her, and we see Annie have her hands on Joy's neck, alluding to her killing her, but she eventually doesn't do that. They escape out of the house. They walk through the crowd of people, and then, lo and behold, Joy looks at the statue, and now she's walking towards the statue as Annie gets captured. So, again, very short episode, 35 minutes, and I just felt like it was almost like a filler episode, which is crazy to say, considering that we have only 2 episodes left. You would have thought that they would have had a filler episode much earlier in the season. But, the shortest episodes previous to this was episode 3, 6, and 7. They were about 44 minutes long. So I really thought this episode was kind of a letdown, considering the reveals that we got last week. None of the big questions were answered, other than a lot of people, again, and kudos to everyone that said in the comments that Joy will be the vessel for Amelie, which, that is the case now. But we didn't get any answers about the kid's identity. A lot of people have been bringing up, that he could be a Pennywise creature or a Randall Flagg from the Stand and all the different books from Stephen King, and a lot of other theories that people thought about the kid's identity. But we didn't get any of that, so I'm hoping that we get that next week. No Pop, no Abdi. I wonder, is Chance gonna factor into the storyline at all? But just to me, I thought this was kind of a letdown. Like I said, considering last week's big reveal. So 2 episodes left, and I really hope they stick the landing in a satisfying manner and wrapping up all the storylines. But yeah, again, I was a little underwhelmed by this episode, and let me know what you all thought of it. If you really loved it, let me know, or if you're on my, thinking like I did, where it was kind of a letdown, let me know in the comments. Again, I love when I read you guys' comments, and I respond to all of them, so definitely let me know what you thought of the episode below. Like and share this video. As always, subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our content. Check out some reviews I did recently for movies such as Queen and Slim, Knives Out, and also my TV review for Watchmen this past Sunday. And then coming soon, Watchmen. Irishman's coming out today. I'm definitely going to check that out. Got to carve out 3.5 hours of my time to check out that movie, but I'm very excited to check it out, as well as some Apple TV Plus shows that are premiering tomorrow, and then obviously some shows that's been on for the last couple weeks that I'm excited for. For those that celebrate it, happy holidays to you all. I will be going to Chicago, so I'm going to definitely try to get some reviews out while I'm out of town for this weekend. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching this review, and we'll see you on the next one.